sostanzialmente tre riflessioni per introdurre questa giornata, che è una giornata di particolare importanza per noi. La prima, il primo concetto è relativo a Montella, Vincenzo
The
Montella.
first regards Vincenzo Montella.
Ho letto, ho sentito dire questa
A lot of
mattina,
things have
parlare
been
magari di
said and
cielo
written
sereno,
about
è
Vincenzo
evidente
Montella.
che il cielo non era tanto sereno, non è tanto sereno su Milanello e sul Milan. È una stagione che è nata male, non è andata molto bene.
The season hasn't started very well.
Sono numeri, abbiamo 20 punti in 14
We're on 20 points after the first 14 rounds, and we're trailing the European places.
Potrei andare avanti qui a snocciolare altri dati, altre statistiche.
And I could go on, of course.
Voi molto più bene, molto meglio di quanto potrei fare io. Questa è la ragione per la quale
and this is the reason why, and with real difficulty, we made the decision between Sunday and Monday. And after talking to the Chinese consortium, we came to the decision to dismiss Vincenzo Montella. It was not easy. We established a very good rapport with Vincenzo Montella. We worked really well together. We had a project in mind, but wasn't going very well. And we've lost a lot of the enthusiasm we had over the summer. But I want to thank Vincenzo Montella for all his efforts in these previous months, but also before. He brought silverware back to the AC Milan trophy cabinet, winning the Supercoppa in 2016, and taking Milan back into Europe as well after a 3-year absence. We've all made and committed errors, not just the coach.
Si è persa sicuramente un'opportunità importante per lui e per noi, e adesso si gira pagina con
But now we're looking to move on after the Montella era, and we've made this decision.
La seconda riflessione riguarda Mirabelli.
The next thing I want to say is regarding to the sporting director, Mirabelli.
Per l'ennesima volta che Massimiliano ha la fiducia mia, ovviamente l'ho scelto.
He has my full confidence. He was my first choice when I was appointed as the club's CEO. So I want to reiterate once again that Mirabelli has my full confidence. There's a big responsibility, of course, when it comes to the sporting side at the club.
Ho detto in alcune circostanze, anche recentemente, anche a voi per esempio, che non abbiamo intenzione di andare nuovamente sul mercato a gennaio, perché
we have no intention of dipping into the transfer market in January. We believe that this squad is good enough, has a lot of quality, and can reach its objectives and achieve a number of good results. Things haven't been working so far, which is why we decided to intervene and make this change to the coach. The last thing I want to say is, of course, welcome to Rino Gattuso. Or should I say welcome back, of course. He's received also the backing from the Chinese consortium as well. The choice to appoint Rino is not a stopgap. I want to reiterate that. We made this choice because it was the right choice to make at this moment in time. Rino's history speaks for itself. He knows this club, he knows Milanello, knows it inside out. Enjoyed a glittering career here as a player. And since his return, initially as youth team coach, he's done very well. I don't want to go too into detail in terms of the sporting results he achieved with the youth team, but Mirabelli The sporting director has always kept me up to date with how Gattuso was performing on the bench at the AC Milan youth team. I was very impressed by that. So I'm hoping that Gattuso can bring all his passion and commitment that he's showed with the youth team and as a player, of course, to the first team. I'm sure he'll be also very humble, keep his feet on the ground.
Ponendosi come credo abbia sempre fatto, come tutti lo abbiamo sempre amato da campione sul campo. Per questa ragione è una scelta che è fortemente.
And for these reasons, this is why we wanted to make that choice to dismiss Montella and appoint Gattuso. So without further ado, I'll now hand over to Gennaro Gattuso, who'll be starting this new chapter in his career. I'm very confident that he will do well, and I wish him all the best of luck in his new role. And we'll see how things go in the coming months. There's still 24 games to go. Lots of points up for grabs. So let's see if we can turn things around and how we can perform. And now I'll hand over to Massimiliano Mirabelli and the new coach, Gennaro Gattuso, and of course your questions. Thank you once again. Now AC Milan tifosi, the moment we've been waiting for, the presentation of the new coach, Gennaro Gattuso, also joined alongside Massimiliano Mirabelli as well, the sporting director.
Oltre, se sentite purtroppo un po' un rumore di fondo, è il nostro Xiao, il nostro interprete collega per invece la parte social in Cina, Weibo, quindi per la traduzione simultanea. Allora abbasso un po' la sedia così un po' più a nostro agio. Possiamo cominciare?
Okay, the first question now.
Prego, Carlo.
Esatto, grazie. Parto con due domande a Mirabelli, poi ovviamente Gattuso.
First question for Mirabelli.
Perché Gattuso?
Which is why have the club chosen Gattuso?
Ma perché io conosco abbastanza bene la squadra che abbiamo fatto, sia quelli che abbiamo riconfermato, sia i nuovi acquisti. Rino ha delle caratteristiche importanti.
I believe that Rino has important coaching qualities.
Non solo quello che abbiamo detto un po' tutti nel DNA del
And I believe that he will be able to instill that Milan spirit, what it means to play for this club, to the squad that we've put together over the summer.
Credo che sia un allenatore che ci potrà dare qualcosa di importante.
Rino, la tua vita
Next question now
senza
for
andare lontano,
Gennaro Gattuso.
ti vede lasciare la mamma piangente a 13 anni per andare a Perugia, ti vede andare all'estero, ragazzino, ti vede arrivare nel 99 al Milan. Questa è un'altra data importante rispetto alle altre. Che giorno è
career
per te questo?
and what
ieri, quando Massimiliano Mirabelli
today means to him to be appointed the AC Milan coach.
Un giorno importante, sicuramente grandissima responsabilità.
This is a very special day for me. It's a huge responsibility.
Sarà un lavoro duro.
And I have to just get my head down, work hard.
Secondo me era molto più duro perché quando lavori qui dentro e alleni.
But I've overcome a number of challenges in my career.
Perché questa è una squadra che
And this will be an exciting challenge for me.
l'età media di 21 anni.
A lot of young players in the squad as well, and I'm looking forward to that.
Normale. In questo momento non stanno attraversando un grandissimo momento.
Milan are going through a difficult time in terms of results.
Ma la preoccupazione più grande era quando sono andato all'Oficrete, che non c'era società.
But like I've said, I've overcome bigger challenges in my life at Ofi Crete, Pisa. There was problems behind the scenes, financial problems. So with that in mind, I'm very confident I can do well and steer Milan out of trouble.
La stampa, i giornali, televisioni, tra l'altro mi fate ridere perché quando sei giovane ti danno la possibilità ma devi fare l'esperienza. Dopo vai in giro per l'Europa e fai l'esperienza e dicono ma non basta. Io sembra che in questi anni ho allenato.
I want to say that, and in response to some of the criticism, I believe that I have acquired quite a bit of experience as a coach. I've coached abroad, coached in different standards, different leagues. So I'm very confident in my abilities and confident this squad can do well. Next question now. Asking Gattuso to pinpoint where Milan perhaps have been going wrong and where they can improve. I have my ideas, my views on the game. We will definitely play with a three-man backline. And I want us to try and keep possession as much as possible. Very simple concepts, but I'll be looking to work on them. And I'll be looking to transfer my experiences from the youth team to the first team. I had a very good rapport with my predecessor Vincenzo Montella. We may have different ways of seeing the game, but I think he worked very well during his time here at the club. Montella loves to play a passing game, and I'm no different, of course. Another question now for Gattuso. And how these youth team reacted after Gattuso was appointed as first-team coach.
Diciamo così, le tue obiettivi nell'allenamento è sempre gruppo, intensità mentale
and of course his training methods with the youth team, which made him very popular during his brief stint in charge. Team spirit is vital for me.
Nella squadra ci sono altre 30 persone che possono fare I danni come la grandine se non riesce a gestirli bene.
But it's not just about the first team squad, it's everyone around it, all those involved in the squad. Everyone has to pull in the same direction and work for the same goal. Actually, my youth team lads were disappointed when I was appointed first team coach, but I was also disappointed we created a very good bond, good rapport. We were doing very well. I want to thank them, take this opportunity to thank them. I had no problems, not one problem. They're an excellent set of lads. And I was really able to get my ideas across, and they were very receptive, very committed to my ideas. And you had to dig deep, battle hard, and also strike when the moment came up. And I am very disappointed, but I want to thank them. Thank them once again. Next question now from Milan TV.
Poco tempo fa aveva detto, molto tempo fa aveva detto, stare al Milan per me era un sogno, io mi sentivo calciatore, capultrà e presidente, mancava allenatore. Da questo punto di vista come ti senti in questi panni? Che emozioni stai provando?
Inviting Gattuso to comment on his emotions and feelings today on becoming AC Milan coach. I'm feeling the same kind of emotions that I felt when I was a Milan player and first joined the club.
E ancora di più posso dire questo perché non ci ho messo piede per 4 anni. Qua è un paradiso. Qua bisogna
Today is paradise. This place is paradise. It's the perfect place for a footballer. Nothing comes close to Milanello, and believe me, I've experienced a lot in these previous 5 years coaching lots of different places, and nothing comes close to Milanello and AC Milan. All the players to show the same kind of passion that I have for this club. I love my job, I do it with passion.
mi dà grandissima adrenalina.
Gives me a lot of energy.
Il sogno continuo.
And this is a dream for me, an absolute dream. Question now for Mirabelli.
Forse di questa stagione fino a questo momento è la resa di coloro che sono arrivati nuovi dal mercato che per vari motivi non sono riusciti ancora magari a dare quello che
Inviting Mirabelli to comment on the transfer market campaign last summer. Whether Gattuso can work well with the new additions and the new acquisitions over the summer.
Sì, ma io credo che comunque non solo i nuovi arrivati, tutto un po' la rosa che ha reso meno
the whole squad that has perhaps underperformed so far, not just some of the new arrivals. We gave Montella time to try and do that, and now we're hoping that Gattuso, with his determination and desire, can get the best out of this squad. That is the hope. We have a lot of faith in our squad.
Almeno che possono dare il 100% del loro valore.
Next question now for Gattuso.
Benvenuto. Volevo chiederti che idea ti sei fatto, quale sarà la prima difficoltà che ti troverai incontro. Magari noi
asking about the first kind of difficulties and challenges he will face as AC Milan coach.
Che quest'anno sono stati tanti con il gruppo storico delle scorse stagioni.
Ma io penso che questa squadra è un dato di fatto che può fare di più.
I believe that this squad can do better. There's no doubt about it. On paper, we have a lot of quality. But from today, we have to become a team.
Dobbiamo toccare con mano, dobbiamo scendere in campo da squadra, saper soffrire, quello che dicevo prima.
We have to take to the pitch as a team, play as a team, work as a team, track back, cover each other, sacrifice ourselves, committed in everything that we do.
Tante volte quando sbaglia il compagno siamo sempre là, c'è l'altro compagno.
When someone makes a mistake, there's someone immediately there to pick him up. We need a warrior spirit, if you like. We have the quality, there's no doubt about it, as I've said. But I think we need to add a little bit something extra, which is, as I said, being a team, battling as one.
Volevo chiedere al
next question now for Mirabelli.
Si è dato un giudizio, come avete sottolineato, sul lavoro di Montella, siete arrivati a questa decisione. Se deve fare un bilancio invece dentro di lei su quello che è stato il mercato, di quello che ha funzionato e di quello che non ha funzionato.
And whether you can give an opinion and a vote on the transfer market last summer.
Al punto dove siamo arrivati è normale che ad oggi non abbiamo visto.
Up until today, I don't believe we've seen the full quality of the players that we brought in over the summer and the full abilities of our squad. So I think it's a bit too early to give a score or a mark on how we've performed so far. But what we are convinced of is that we have an excellent squad, an excellent team. We wanted to spend and invest in a lot of players, a lot of them which are very young as well. So we can build a team for the future. We knew there could be some pitfalls, some challenges and difficulties. We're fully aware of that, especially as I've said, a lot of players are very young. They need time to settle and gel as a team. But like I said, give us time, let's wait and be patient. At the end of the season, we can assess the situation better. And we'll see whether they've done a good job or not. Next question now.
Buongiorno Rino, Hussein di Bein Sports. Una domanda semplice, guardando la classifica.
Question for Gattuso.
Che hanno fatto le altre squadre. Per il Milan, la Champions è impossibile.
Asking whether Champions League qualification is impossible or not. Today I'm not looking at the league standings. We shouldn't get distracted by that. We have to take things one match at a time. Starting with Benevento this Sunday, as if it were a World Cup final for us.
occhi e pensare che a fine partita se vinciamo c'è la Champions League, perché noi dobbiamo ragionare così.
That's how we have to take things at the moment, not think about exactly where we have to finish or our goals, but one match at a time. We need to turn the situation around. I've played for many years at San Siro. But if you haven't got the right mental approach, physical approach, then playing at San Siro comes with a lot of pressure, and it's very difficult to handle that pressure. So I think these lads need to make that step up. Next question now for Gattuso.
È una cosa che è già in qualche modo emersa, ovviamente il tuo nome è da sempre sinonimo di grinta, di carattere, di cattiveria sportiva. Il discorso della personalità che a questa squadra manca è un'osservazione che è spesso venuta fuori. Quali corde pensi di dover toccare
Gattuso
per personalità e per far perdere un po' di paura che questa squadra sembra avere in questo momento?
And how he can get the best out of this team.
È vero, però mi sembra anche riduttivo, dopo ti rispondo alla domanda, ma mi sembra anche riduttivo ogni volta, perché dopo
I don't think it's just
sicuramente per 17-18 anni
about my personality or the character that I have that I can pass on. I think I'm a bit more than that.
Parliamo del Rino Gattuso calciatore. Sicuramente lo spirito, il fatto che se gioco anche con mio figlio e gioco a calcetto non voglio perdere, quello mi è rimasta.
I've always got that battling spirit in me that I had as a player that distinguished my footballing career. There's no doubt about it. But, like I said, that was a while ago. I don't think that does quite enough justice to me as a coach. I've had a lot of experiences, as I've said earlier. I've studied to become a coach. I've travelled, I've coached abroad. So I think, as I say, it doesn't quite do enough justice to me just to say that I'm going to be able to pass on grit and determination. I think I can do a bit more than that. Because grit and heart isn't enough to win matches. You also need to be prepared tactically, physically, mentally. And that's why I think I can do a lot more than just pass on a lot of character to the team.
Quello che è stata la forza negli anni che ho vissuto io, che un po' forse ultimamente si è persa, è quella della storia.
But, what I do think is perhaps gone slightly missing here at Milanello in the years is perhaps the appreciation for the history of this club, the traditions of the previous generations of players. And we need to build from those again, go back to those values which made Milan great. Another question now for Gattuso, asking how he'll play. I will play with a three-man backline, but in attack it depends on how the players are performing, our opponents. I don't want to stick my neck out and say I'll definitely play with two up front or three up front. It depends very much on each game and the situation. We'll take it one match at a time. Next question now from la Gazzetta dello Sport.
Una testa però, perché vogliamo fare anche una Mirabelli. Senti Rino,
question first for Gattuso.
Una lunga chiacchierata col tuo ex presidente.
Inviting Gattuso to comment on his phone call with the former AC Milan owner and president Silvio Berlusconi. And to comment on that phone call between the two.
14 anni, 13 anni, 14 stagioni, devo dire che tantissime.
I know Silvio Berlusconi very well
Da giocatore, no? Sia a Milanello che a livello telefonico.
From my playing days, and we're often in touch.
Parlo con il mio presidente, uno dei presidenti più vincenti della storia del calcio.
He's the most successful president in the history of football.
Grande conoscitore di calcio.
He understands the game like no one else. We spoke a bit about Milan's DNA. And the ideas of Silvio Berlusconi and how he likes to see AC Milan play. I listened, of course, to his advice, to his words, because I have a huge amount of respect for Silvio Berlusconi, for what he achieved for this club. Question now for Mirabelli.
Se questo cambio è arrivato, e cioè, è stata la prima volta in cui ci avevate pensato, oppure era già
inviting Mirabelli to comment on the dismissal of Montella.
Allora, noi, perché su questo cambio ho sentito tanti pareri da parte vostra.
I've heard lots of things about this decision, or read a lot of things in the press.
Noi era giusto, dopo 23 partite.
For us, it was the right thing to do after 23 games in all competitions.
Campionato e Coppa.
We feel Montella plenty of time.
In mente di fare una verifica su quello che stava accadendo, abbiamo ritenuto opportuno.
We believed it was right then, after analysing everything, to make this decision to dismiss Montella. After the Torino game, we looked back at everything and we made our decision. A question now from the press here at Milanello.
Buongiorno, mister.
For Gattuso.
Volevo chiederle se, visto che ha sentito l'ex presidente Berlusconi, se ha già sentito anche il presidente Yong-Hong Lee o se è in programma.
Asking whether Gattuso has spoken to the new president, Lee Yong-hong, after speaking to Silvio Berlusconi, the former president, yesterday. Well, the new president doesn't speak English. So we decided that in the coming days we will be able to try and have our first chat. He doesn't speak Calabrese, which is my southern dialect, but through Marco Fassone, the club CEO, we will be able to have our first chat in the coming days.
Esplosivo e anche con qualche gol in più nelle gambe, è un giocatore che mi può assomigliare di più, ma spero che di mentalità riusciamo ad averne più di uno.
I hope that focusing on football matters now, that we can really rediscover the right attitudes that is needed to do well, and that is adapt to a club like AC Milan. Question now for Mirabelli.
Montella non ha voluto commentare in un'intervista alla Gazzetta dello Sport le scelte di mercato.
Inviting Mirabelli to comment on the transfer market.
Montella ha sempre detto a voi tutti che ha condiviso sempre le scelte di mercato.
Montella always shared
con la società, quindi
our decisions when it came to the transfer market last summer. I don't know why he didn't want to comment on it when he was asked about it recently. We invested in the players that we all had in mind. We always exchanged ideas. It was a joint venture. The next question now from Repubblica for Gattuso.
In queste prime domande sul fatto che non è che tu in questi anni in cui sei stato lontano da Milanello non abbia fatto niente. Ti chiedo, questa prevenzione un pochino che c'è nei tuoi confronti ti ha dato fastidio? E poi
asking Gattuso whether it's frustrating for him to be almost typecast as someone just with a lot of grit and determination, and whether he's got any other qualities that you feel he can bring. During my coaching career so far, I have received a lot of setbacks. It hasn't been easy. I've had a lot of problems behind the scenes as well. My experience in Greece, for example, there were financial problems, wages weren't being paid. That is a very unpleasant situation to find yourself in. Pisa, it was a similar situation, my last job before coming back here to Milan. But I've learned from all those experiences. They were hard times, but I've learned from them. At times we didn't even have a pitch to train on. But I have and had the passion to overcome all of those things. And I have to thank everyone that was supporting me during those moments, because it's also thanks to them that I'm here today. But if you don't live and breathe it and get that practical experience, you go nowhere. And I'm very proud that I've actually been there and done it and got a lot of experience. I want to be a coach. I want to have a successful coaching career. I have the right abilities and qualities, in my opinion, to do it. I'm back at Milanello. I've learned a lot, but experiences in Italy and in Europe, in Greece and Switzerland. And this is a new adventure for me.
Sempre dopo 2 o 3 partite che sbagliavo in carriera mi dicevano che ero uno scarpone, che sapeva solo correre, che
I have a lot of character. I still remember when I first played my first couple of games as a professional, I was labelled as useless, but I soon showed everyone with my commitment, determination. I always knew my limits as a player, but I always played to my strengths. I had a glittering career. So I have very broad shoulders, and the criticism that may come my way, and that I'm a coach who can only perhaps instill character and determination, nothing more. Well, I'm ready to prove those critics wrong. I know my strengths and I work hard on a daily basis for this club. Next question now from the journalist here at Milanello.
Sull'onda della domanda che ti hanno fatto prima. Nel momento in cui ti hanno dato questa grandissima possibilità, hai pensato un attimo al rischio che hanno corso
inviting Gattuso to comment on whether he had any negative thoughts before accepting the job or else.
Andavo all'Oficreta, andavo a Pisa. Chi mi conosce sa che non sono un calcolatore. Ho 39 anni, 9 gennaio faccio 40 anni. Voglio vivere la mia vita sempre da protagonista.
After all the difficult experience I've had, well, this certainly didn't frighten me, this challenge. I'm 40 next year, I'm fearless. I want to try and show what I can do. I will give 110% for the AC Milan cause.
Ma perché ho anche la possibilità a livello mentale, familiare, economico, o tutte le cose per non pensare così, perché dopo.
And also I'm a very lucky man financially, economically, that I can give everything for this job as well. So, no, I was very confident taking this job.
Come guarire uno dei mali di questo Milan, che è il mal di gol.
And asking now Gattuso how he can get Milan scoring again and refining their clinical touch. As a coach, I've always been very strong defensively. My teams have kept lots of clean sheets, but haven't scored many. But out on the training ground, we will be working on the attack and in the final third of the pitch. But I don't think it's just about not scoring enough. Milan created a lot of chances in the last game against Torino. So for me, the problem isn't in the final third of the pitch. Next question now from Sport Italia.
Buonasera Gattuso e in bocca al lupo per la sua nuova avventura professionale. A proposito di gol, pensa di poter risollevare André Silva?
Inviting Gattuso to comment on André Silva and when he thinks he can get the best out of the Portuguese talent.
In campionato non ancora. Giocherà per lui e su di lui la sua squadra?
La squadra giocherà sui 11 giocatori che scendono in campo. Sicuramente lui è un giocatore
André Silva
per l'età che ha.
Is a very talented player.
Penso che André Silva è uno che ha un grandissimo mercato, anche se ha fatto non benissimo in questo momento.
I think he was an excellent buy.
È un giocatore che
He's done really well in the Europa League, and I think he's highly sought after. He's shown that. He plays for the team, and that is one of his strengths. He makes those runs from deep, cuts inside. And I think we have to try and get the best out of him and make sure he plays as much as possible for the team and not as an individual. Question for Mirabelli.
Siete partiti con Montella, voi che siete subentrati alla guida del club, dunque l'allenatore non l'avete scelto voi, non l'ha scelto lei, lo avete trovato. A conti fatti, a posteriori, ritiene uno sbaglio?
Inviting Mirabelli to comment whether he regrets
non aver scelto voi da subito il nuovo allenatore, oppure lei
working with Montella after coming into the club after the takeover by the Chinese consortium. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. Montella was our choice when we came into the club.
Con una squadra per determinati risultati, determinati momenti, magari le cose non vanno, però per noi quello era la cosa giusta da fare, quindi abbiamo
at the time, as I've said, when we arrived, Fassone and I, after the takeover, yes, Montella was our man. But going ahead, and based on the recent results, we've made the decision to make the change, and we're hoping now that it's a fresh new start and we can get back to winning ways.
C'è una lista attesa abbastanza lunga, vi chiedo cortesemente una domanda sola, così riusciamo a fare tutto nei tempi. Grazie.
Buongiorno, una domanda.
Next question now for Gattuso.
In Cina si parlano della curiosità che prima c'era il numero 10 Sidov che torna, poi c'era il numero 9 Filippo Inzaghi da primavera a prima squadra. Adesso tocca a lei.
Inviting Gattuso to comment on the fact that he's following in the footsteps of his former teammates Seedorf, Inzaghi and Brocchi in taking over the AC Milan coach.
Come fa la differenza rispetto agli altri?
No, ho risposto a questa domanda. La differenza è che bisogna... Sarà una stagione, ripeto, sarà... Sento dire ultimamente che abbiamo partite facili, sì, sulla carta, ma io partite in Serie A facili.
I've heard that now I have a run of easy matches But I want to assure everyone that in Serie A there are no easy games. It won't be easy. I have a tough task on my hands. We have to get better, we have to improve.
Buonasera mister, Lorenzini di Libero.
Question now
Spesso
for
il
Gattuso.
capitano è l'espressione dell'allenatore. Lei ha già parlato con Bonucci.
Asking whether he's had a chat yet with AC Milan skipper Bonucci.
No, penso che non aspettatevi nulla perché il capitano
Bonucci is the captain, and he will continue to be the captain during my premiership.
Ho parlato con tutta la squadra, ho parlato con una delegazione da squadra ieri.
I've spoken to the players since arriving.
Ho visto ragazzi che hanno una grandissima voglia di mettersi a
Lads
disposizione, una grandissima voglia.
showed me a lot of commitment, a lot of determination. They appeared very receptive.
Ho visto tutto questo nei loro occhi. Io gli ho solo chiesto,
I only asked them one thing: a real sense of belonging, real sense of commitment to this club, and discipline. That is all I asked of them, to be committed to the cause. I'm not concerned about their lives away from the pitch. But when we're out there playing for AC Milan, I want us to give everything for one another.
Ancora non capisce bene l'italiano perché fa fatica, perché ancora non parla bene. Là deve essere il gruppo a mettersi a disposizione e farlo.
There are a few players who've come from abroad who are still learning the language, for example. In those situations, I want us to become a squad, help each other out. In short, it's all about the team spirit. Next question now. Inviting Gattuso to ask what his best qualities are as a coach. Coach has to have a lot of qualities. You need to instill the right spirit, of course. You need to be tactically prepared. You have to have a bit of everything, really. At the moment, I feel at my best and at ease when I'm out on the training ground, working with the players. That's where I feel at ease and at my best. My staff and I feel we have a lot of qualities and knowledge to do this job. Question for Mirabelli. Asking whether, since Mirabelli and Gattuso are both from Calabria in South Italy, whether that will help their rapport. I have an excellent rapport with Gennaro Gattuso. We have similar ideas on the game. We hope that together, in fact, I'm convinced that together we can do an excellent job. I may be from the south, but I've actually spent more of my life in the north. Of course, I'll never forget my land and my region of Calabria, very proud. But in many respects, I'm more a northerner now than a southerner. Next question now for Gattuso.
Ieri Costa Curta in diretta, oltre a farti in bocca al lupo, diceva: è inutile che lo chiamo, tanto non risponde mai. Ci può raccontare invece se c'è stata una telefonata, un messaggio?
Ask him whether he's received a message from any of his other former teammates, or how many messages he's received so far. I received messages from the likes of Terim, Sacchi, Ancelotti, Capello, Cannavaro.
Dopo ieri, verso le 10:30, 11, è uscita una foto mia che sembravo ero vestito da Jenny, come si chiama quello, no, Jenny, il personaggio di Gomorra, con la mia faccia là.
There's also one of my photos photoshopped from a Gomorrah character as well, which I was sent by a friend as well. So I've received a lot of messages. I'm very proud of this. Next questions now.
Ti volevo chiedere una cosa su un singolo, perché
For Gattuso.
dicono che Cutrone là davanti, sto anche io usato dalla curva, tu sai bene che quando una curva usanno un giocatore vuol dire che diventa un idolo, però ha la cattiveria, il fuoco dentro che piace molto a te. Che ruolo vedi
Inviting Gattuso to comment on Patrick Cutrone, the teenage talent.
La mia storia dice che durante la settimana valuto molto quello che si fa durante la settimana, il campo parla, è una frase che mi sentite spesso.
I always assess how the team perform in the training ground ahead of the match. So I assess the whole week's build-up before choosing my team. And so that will apply to everyone in the team and Cutrone. Cutrone has a lot of passion, a lot of commitment, and I hope that we see that in the other players in the squad as well. Question now for Gattuso. Asking Gattuso to comment on some of the players in the squad that he's most looking forward to coaching.
Ma sento dire che Suso tante volte può giocare solo largo a destra, si deve accentrare.
I'm looking forward to working with Suso and whether he's only effective on the right and drifting in field and putting the ball onto his favoured left foot. I really want to see whether that's true or not, or whether he can be effective in other areas of the pitch as well. That's something I'm excited about.
Mi incuriosisce sta roba qua, come mi incuriosisce anche il fatto che sì, ultimamente
I'm also looking forward to working with
non va dentro,
Kessie, who isn't really getting us forward as much like he did last season with Atalanta. So lots of exciting challenges for me and areas to work on. Only with time and hard work can we improve. Time is, of course, of the essence. We don't have much time, but we won't waste any time cracking on. Next question now for Gattuso.
Nell'estate del 99 ha indossato una maglia che aveva sullo scudetto. Quando te ne sei andato alla fine della stagione 2011-2012 c'era un altro scudetto e la coccarda, o comunque quel Milan aveva vinto e tu hai vinto una Supercoppa d'Italia. Questa maglia non può restare senza, questa maglia del Milan non può restare troppo tempo
Inviting Gattuso to comment on Milan's fairly barren run in terms of trophies won since Gattuso left the club, and how he can take Milan back to winning ways.
In questo momento non è difficile risponderti, nel senso competizione, la competizione della Coppa UEFA, e Milan ha passato il turno e giocherà il prossimo, andrà l'altro turno. Coppa Italia bisogna
We're in the
giocare
Europa League and the Coppa Italia.
Ottavi di finale. Io penso che in questo momento è vero quando dici che è una maglia che pesa.
So there are two competitions we can go for, but representing this club comes with a huge responsibility, and we can never forget that.
Fra vittoria e sconfitta c'è una grandissima differenza. Quando si perde deve bruciare. Avete capito?
And losing cannot be accepted here. It has to really be something to be avoided. It has to, as I said, simply not be accepted here.
La differenza si deve toccare con mano. È questo che voglio vedere.
Another question now for Gattuso.
Gattuso solo cuore e grinta, no? Da giocatore, e da allenatore l'hanno già definita traghettatore.
Inviting Gattuso to comment on those who've said that he's merely a stopgap, a caretaker coach.
Potevo dire, potevo pensarlo se mancavano 4 partite, 5 partite. Mi suona strano, 72 punti a disposizione.
There are still plenty of points up for grabs. So for me, the label of caretaker stopgap doesn't quite sit with me. If there were 4 or 5 games left of the season, of course, but there's still plenty to play for. I know that I can't be everyone's first choice, but I know my strengths, I know my qualities, and I know what I can give this team.
Chi mi giudica dopo tante volte, perché bisogna anche vedere chi ti giudica e come ti giudica, se viene detta la verità o no.
So we'll see how things play out.
Come si definisce lei?
And how would I define myself?
Che tante volte devo imparare a contare, che anche se sono migliorato, che
at times I still have a short temper and have to count to 10 before answering and talking. Match day still gives me a real thrill, a real buzz, means everything to me, even all these years on. And that's what makes me happy.
Scusa, abbiamo ancora 2 domande? Sì, no, siamo lunghissimi, mi spiace. Allora, facciamo ancora 3 domande, chiudiamo con Bianchina Repubblica.
Final few questions now of today's press conference.
Tra le accuse che venivano mosse a Montella era quella di cambiare sempre formazione e di non aver creato un
Question on his predecessor Montella and some of the criticisms that were levied at Montella, such as chopping and changing the formation, and how Gattuso expects to play. I'll choose my lineup based on what I see in training, in the build-up to the match. That is key for me and will be one of the main criteria in how I choose my team.
Ci racconti il primo allenamento?
Question on how Gattuso's first training session, which took place earlier this morning, went.
Che vuol dire duro? Noi abbiamo dei parametri a cui ci appoggiamo. I parametri sono: il primo giorno di ripresa per noi è un lavoro aerobico, perché non sono passate 48 ore, stiamo sul 70-80%.
We have a schedule that we follow. So after the match, it's all about a lot of aerobic work.
Campo ampio, e domani faremo un lavoro.
And then after that, the following days, start working more on increasing our workloads as we get closer to the match. Today, meanwhile,
mi sono comportato allo stesso modo come sono io non posso. Ho premesso che qualche volta se
I was simply myself when I led the first training session.
Qualche parola fuori posta arriva di non scandalizzarsi, perché fa parte del mio
I told the lads that if I maybe lose my temper now and again, and that's just who I am, and that they should never take it personally, of course.
Sia nello spogliatoio che fuori dallo spogliatoio.
Allora, Corriere della Sera, ultima domanda, Monica Colombo. Prego.
Final question now.
Ciao Monica.
Ti volevo chiedere se di tutti i vari allenatori, maestri che hai sentito, ti hanno scritto ieri, c'è qualcuno che ti ha dato un consiglio in particolare per questa?
If he received any important advice from previous coaches or colleagues. They simply told me just to work hard
chiedere, è vero
Now a question for Mirabelli.
che sia lei che Montella in più occasioni avete sempre ribadito che non c'erano stati motivi di screzio, diciamo.
Another question relating to Montella and the relationship he had with Mirabelli.
Le volevo chiedere che cosa in particolare, se c'è una colpa che più di altri imputa all'ex tecnico.
No, non siamo riusciti a litigare neanche l'ultimo giorno.
Montella and I never even had one argument, not even yesterday when I told him of his dismissal.
Poi ci sono le questioni lavorative, mi sono permesso di dire un mio pensiero a Vincenzo su cosa è andato, cosa non è andato, che non
I did
di parlarne.
tell him what I thought about a few things and things in which I was slightly critical, but I won't say them here today in this press conference. But like I've said earlier in today's press conference, we gave Montella lots of time.
Non tanto nei risultati, ma a vedere un animo.
Time to show, not necessarily in terms of the results, but also in terms of the playing style and putting the team together. We didn't see enough evidence that things were going in the right direction, and that's why we made this decision. But like I've said, there'll always be a lot of respect for Montella. He's an excellent coach. Thank you very much for joining us, AC Milan Tifosi, for joining us. And make sure you keep following us. Forza Milan!